hand it over to Frank Devereaux. Frank works with me out of CISA too. I love that Frank and I are great partners in these things. He has helped do many things. I'm going to let him in. He's actually an integral part in the micro-credential. But I do want to have him introduce himself, and he's going to talk to us about our AT community.
Hello, everyone. As Kathy said, I have the privilege of working alongside her and Stacy and learning a ton in this realm of assistive technology. And last year, we decided to create this little blog community, kind of to learn about different things that are going on in the world of maybe special needs or assistive technology, or different strategies to meet the needs of our learners. So we put this out there, and about maybe, I think we're up to about 75, maybe hopefully we'll get to 100 this year of community members. So the link is there for you to join. I'll put that in the chat in a second. And then I also wanted to put an interest form for getting some guest bloggers. So I'm hoping some people who are in the community can start sharing maybe some of the things they're seeing in their district, or some of the amazing things that the students are doing, kind of like what Mike was talking about, these star students, or maybe a star educator, and what they're doing to reach the students and help them with whatever their assistive technology needs are. So we have this AT community. The link is there, and most of the articles and topics were brought up by me last year just to get it rolling. But I have a form here for maybe just to if it doesn't lock you in. It just means if you sign up, I will reach out to you and say, hey, what month would be a good month, or what would the topic be, or do you need my help for anything? And then you might write a small social media post and provide a resource or two for the community to grow together. So the whole hopes of that was to let people know that we all belong, right? And all our students belong, and we all belong to this community. So hopefully we'll get some more people joining, and we'll have some really interesting articles. There were some great conversations that went on with some of the articles, and that's what I felt like the growth happens, right? Is when people start talking about these topics. So there you have it, and hopefully see you in the community.
Well, thanks, Frank. And again, it is a way for us to try to bring people together. As in the beginning of my career, I was the only assistive technology specialist in the district, and many districts only have one. And you sometimes feel kind of alone. You're like, oh my gosh, who do I go to? Where do I ask questions? So we want to bring us all together in the state so that we can ask our questions together and help as many students as we can. And now I want to, make sure I got on the right slide there. I want to introduce Rachel Holt again. Rachel is, for those of you that have been around for a while, is going to be working out of CISA 2 in the lending library, and she's taking over for Donna Hudson, who retired. She was a wonderful person, did a great job in our library. But Rachel is going to tell us about what the lending library is and how we can access it and where we're going. So it's up to you, Rachel. Thanks.
Hey, great. Thanks, Kathy. The ATLC, like Kathy was saying, is a lending library of AAC devices. We have right now about 60 devices available for loan. Those are for trial purposes for students 3 to 21 in Wisconsin public schools who have IEPs and have a need for AAC devices. And you can access it at wisconsinatforall.com. And I can walk you through the process on the website.
You want me to go to the website, or you want me to?
Yeah, if you could, please.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so this is where you will come to find our catalog. To start with, you're going to go to the menu and click item list. And from here, you'll notice that there are 4 boxes there at the top: category, program, transaction type, and zip code, you need to make sure that program is selected for the ATLC. Otherwise, you will get results from all over the state of Wisconsin. So want to make sure that you select ATLC from programs. Once you've done that, you can enter a keyword or phrase in the search bar up top. You don't have to worry about category or transaction type. Most of our devices are in the category of speech communication. So you don't have to worry about narrowing down the category. So if you want to do, you can search by model number. You can search, a device type. And from there, it will pull up the results. And be sure when you pull up these results that you're reading through the description, particularly for the devices themselves. A lot of them are going to come with different options. They're going to come with accessories, keyboards, cases. No, not all of them are AAC. That's true. Again, it depends on what you're searching for. We do have a lot of peripherals and accessories available in the lending library as well. We have floor stands, rolling stands, mobility, accessibility accessories as well. Lots of switches. We have a lot of really good options here in addition to the 60 AAC devices themselves. So as you're selecting a device, if there is an accessory or peripheral that you're going to need to go along with it, be sure to search because we may have it and we can send that to you as well. In those descriptions, it's going to tell you everything that comes in the box. So if you're looking for a particular device, you might get, key guards or cases. It might come with a table stand in the box. Just be sure you're reading through, and I'll double check with you as well when I get your request, just to make sure you want everything that it comes with. So yeah, here, like the i15, these models in particular would come with a rolling floor stand. If you needed it for your student, we could send you the floor stand as well as the device. And then to actually make a request, to request a device for loan, you will need an account. So if you don't have one, you can create one over there on the menu. There's a login or create account option. And it's very simple. The account is free, you just need basic contact information. And then once you have an account, you can log in and you can add the device to cart. And then from there, that will create a request that comes to me, and I'll get your device pulled and make sure it's charged and pack all the accessories. And then if you are in a district that is serviced by CISA 2, your ATLC device will be delivered by the CISA 2 van, just like your PRC materials will be. If you are not in a CISA 2 district, that's fine. This is available to the entire state of Wisconsin. So I will ship the device to you through UPS. And we always include a return label, so you would just return it to us through UPS as well. You get 4 weeks to trial the device, and then you'll return it to us by the same way you receive it, either through the delivery van or UPS. You will get in the box a contract that just shows the device that you borrowed, and it will have 2 questions at the bottom. If you could respond to the 2 questions at the bottom, that is data that we send back to our friends at DPI so that they have that information about who is trialing things, what they're trialing, the purpose of the trial, and whether it was satisfactory, whether you were able to make a decision after using the device for 4 weeks with your students. That's all data that we send back. Yeah, if you have any questions, can the trial be extended? That is on a case-by-case basis. We have some models of AAC devices that are pretty popular. We tend to get multiple requests for them. So if someone else is waiting in line, we're not going to be able to extend the trial. But if there is no one else waiting for the device, then we can certainly consider it.
Great. It's a wonderful explanation of the library. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to click yourself through. So you got a left-hand menu, you know, and then you've got a search. And as long as you've got those search parameters, like Rachel said, you're off and rolling. And thanks, Michelle and Dawn, for reiterating, these are not just AAC devices. It used to be. So that's why we just want to make sure people know that we just the DPI was wonderful last year, and we were able to put in over $10,000 worth of new devices, things like reading pens and switch accessibility, you know, and as Rachel said, ways to mount things, because it's not just the device. Often it's all those other things that are needed, because your student has to be able to access it, and maybe it needs to be mounted, you know, because it can't be moving around, right? So we want to know these things ahead of time. And in order, again, for like the question that was posed in the beginning, you've got to collect that data on how to use that. And oftentimes that includes all of the extra stuff, like how is it going to work in a gymnasium? Is it going to be loud enough? Do we have to look at external speakers? How's it going to work in a PE class? You know, do we have to think about that? And we should think about that. So access is important no matter where. Any other questions for Rachel?
There was a
Eve.
question from Michelle about Rachel, about whether the trial period could be extended past the 4 weeks if they request it.
Yeah, I
she
think I
answered
did
that
cover
one.
that. Yeah.
What was that? Oh, you did answer.
Yeah, it can, as long as no one else is kind of like hanging in the weeds, you know, but they
Right.
try to get them out as quick as possible. You know, we try to serve as many students as possible. So try to stick to that 4-week trial. All right. Now, Dawn is going to talk to us about AAC website and the partnership program. Thanks, Dawn.
Kathy. And before I do that, I just want to say that the ATLC library itself is available for school districts. But I think the great thing about this being incorporated into the state lending library through the Department of Health Services is that there are a lot of other lending libraries available for families and for adults to obtain assistive technology that they might need. So, you know, just something that you might want to pass on to families or others in your lives that may need assistive technology. So going into the AAC website and the partnership program, Wisconsin DPI has a webpage for augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC, but it is blank. So we've been working on developing that page, and I would say in the next few weeks, you should see that page populated. We understand that, you know, we're going to populate it, and there may be some other ideas out there of what we might have missed, or, you know, other resources that can be added. So we appreciate your feedback as that gets developed. And then on that page, there will be tabs similar to some of the other pages on DPI. It will include a definition of AAC, some conferences related to assistive technology that you might be interested in attending, and organizations that support assistive technology, and also resources related to assistive technology. We're going to have a link again to that lending center, and also the AAC partnership program, which I will talk about in just a minute, and then a tab related to the use of AAC with artificial intelligence. So the bottom section is going to include tabs for assessment tools, implementation, and evidence-based practices related to AAC. Again, we're open to your feedback and adjusting that page as needed, but we just want to get it populated so we have those resources available for you. The partnership program is designed to support speech language pathologists and other team members working with children who need an augmentative and alternative communication evaluation. It was developed with the aim to increase access to AAC services for individuals across the state, to provide teams with some recommendations, to continue growing their students' communication skills, and to increase the statewide capacity of speech language pathologists and other team members to provide AAC services. I mentioned speech language pathologists because a speech language pathologist licensed through the Department of Health Services is required in order to obtain funding, outside funding for high-end devices. So when individuals are referred to the AAC partnership program, the clinical team in the CASC, or Communication Aids and Systems Clinic at the Weissman Center, reviews the intake information provided by the referring partner and determines the most appropriate service model for that child. No charge is implemented for districts and families that are part of the partnership program, as this is part of the AT Forward grant. So we're really trying to empower teams to be able to complete their own evaluations in the future, but maybe need a little help to get started. And then finally, there's a new resource in development, and Kathy mentioned that earlier. It's the AAC decision tree. So mark your calendars for Tuesday, February 4th for a preview of this document that we're working on.
Thanks, Dawn. And we decided to take part of that document, the decision tree, and it's being taken apart, and look for a couple questions coming out as a preview in the monthly update. So and basically what it does is you got to see if you can answer yes or no to a question. And if you can't answer yes to it, it's going to impede your ability to do an AAC assessment. So what do you do next? And we're going to give you those steps on what do you do next, because that is kind of essential. And we're here to help. So we're trying to figure out ways that we can help you help your students.